Yeah, any other questions, Ryan?
It's not really about that.
Anything?
Yeah, you know, if you stretch the calves, it'll have an impact upstream, right, of the other muscles, right?
Well, it's a subject in itself. Do you want to discuss that, or do you want to go on with the question?
Sorry?
Do you want to discuss that concept, or do you want to go on to the question?
I want to go on to the question.
Okay, do you understand? He just opened up a whole possible discussion on that, but we're moving on from that, and you can come back to it if you're interested, yeah?
Okay, so does the, like, stretching the front of the shin have a similar effect going upstream like that?
If any compartment has a potential to go up instead of just down, the traditional thinking is down only, but if something has potential to go up, which I'm suggesting it does, it wouldn't matter whether it's front or the back, but you also got the impact front to back. So opening up the front compartment, impacting the back compartment as well as going up.
Right, and like stretching the calves assists in like hamstring stretches, right, because of the posterior chain. So would that also be similar to stretching the shins, influencing the quads?
Okay. Now we're starting to get a little bit more deep. At the end of the day, in stretching, everybody's going to respond to where their tightnesses are. So when someone says, Ian, what muscle is this stretching? I don't know. What muscle is it stretching on you? Yeah. So we've got to be very careful because of all the physical qualities. This is one that's more dependent upon the individual than others. So we're really generalising now. Just to get real clear, the only reason we stretch the hamstring is to take advantage of the range given by stretching the quad. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And when we talk about tissue tension reduction and you start understanding how I rarely touch the hamstrings, you understand the hamstrings are not necessarily the target. But if you've had a tight hamstring because of your hip flexors being tight, even when you loosen the hip flexors, you've still got a lot of work to do to loosen the hamstrings because they've been kept short for too long. But they're not the cause. They're the symptom or the byproduct. Have I gone anywhere near to answering your question? Because go again if I haven't.
What's that?
Go again if I haven't answered.
No, that's good. Sure. I got another one for myself.
Yeah, no one else has got one. You go.
Okay, you know how in the leg extension exercise, the foot position
Yes.
influences muscle recruitment?
Yes.
If there is, like, say, excessive tension, say, in the lateral tissue of the quads, would that also affect foot position? Like kind of like going the other way instead of you trying to change the direction of your foot to influence muscle recruitment? With the tension that's
Yes.
already...
Yeah. Well, more than that, your recruitment patterns will shape it. So if you watch someone's gait and it's reflected in the way that they'll do, say, hip thigh extension, or like back extensions, or as in a prone hip thigh extension, where they'll start externally rotating in particular to get the strength to complete the movements. So under fatigue or under load, you'll see those patterns come out. So someone's restricted movement patterns do shape the execution of strength. And that's why we need to change the way they're executing, but also change the way they've got the ability and awareness. So the awareness has to change, their options have to change, they have to have flexibility, and then it meets in the middle. Because if you were changing one and not the other, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. You've got to change it from both ends. You've got to give them the potential to do so, but you've got to change the execution. It usually means reducing load.
Yeah.
So all people think about in terms of rotation of the feet is, well, you know, what's the best way I can recruit muscle? That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in how it impacts, is talk about that seamless concept, how it impacts everything else. So there's a few other concepts that I'll share with you during the program that will really affect the way that what you see, what you watch people do.
Okay.
And it's far beyond what's just been popularised in more mainstream kind of writings. Great questions. Okay?
I say one of the things that at least I've seen float around like through a lot of people, kind of at least in the U.S.
You're scaring me already.
I know, like because I kind of when you're a squat model, keep the feet really straight forward, and kind of the big thing that people have sent me like that bone due to how the bone shapes. Some people are due to their bone structure, they're naturally going to be more externally rotated, on the feet. I didn't know if that was just, like, to what degree does bone structure affect, like, what someone's natural mechanics are gonna be?
Okay.
I don't know if I phrase that right.
Well, there's only one natural mechanic, and that's someone who's living in an indigenous population, never worn shoes in their life and never done a normal westernised living. So there's no such thing as natural mechanics in the Western world. We're not natural. You understand what I'm saying? We left nature a long, long time ago. So the only natural mechanics is an indigenous person who's never seen a TV or he doesn't know what an internet or computer is. Now, this is the same philosophy, the same community that's taught you that it's too hard to teach a back squat, just do front squats because it's too hard to teach otherwise. Or that it's dangerous to shoulder press from behind the head, so always shoulder press from the front. They're just cop-out mechanisms. Yeah? There's only one or two things we know about rotation and squat. We know that it's easier to get depth with an external rotation. That's it. It's easier to get depth wider. It doesn't mean you're using better range. It doesn't mean you're going through the fuller range. It just means it's easier to achieve the perception of hip below knee. You with me? Yeah. Which is irrelevant. I mean, under what's the correlation for, say, an athlete as to whether the hip goes below the knee? It's only relevant to a powerlifter. So that, for me, is a justification of that being done. Let's be straight. Most people have posture with external rotation. I mean, without naming anybody, earlier tonight, a few people stood up there and I just, closed my eyes. You with me? So if we had a postural model to the contrary, under what circumstances would be serving anybody by reinforcing that position? Unacceptable. Yeah. Yes, it's going to be hard because people are just locked in, but that, as far as natural, that's like saying an excessive arch in the lower back is natural. Yeah, of course there's going to be an arch, but what's natural? Okay. You with me? All this crap about natural curve in the back. I mean, what's natural? I've got a model in my mind of optimal shape in the spine for the average person, and it's different than everyone's definition. Throwing the word natural in doesn't work for me as a justification. Does that make sense? There was one person who wanted to become seen in the world as an expert in the 90s, who used to make references to whether leopards stretched, and therefore stretching wasn't relevant because leopards don't stretch. I mean, it's just, America is very good at emotive analogy. You with me? Emotive analogy. So you throw the word nature, and it's almost as powerful as saying functional these days in sports specific in the 90s. Yeah. So no, I couldn't join you on that paradigm to any great extent. Okay.